A lot of things with the spread of the virus, right? Your mental health has suffered during the pandemic between isolation, all that feeling of uncertainty about the future, and now with Omicron, maybe you or others around you are feeling anxious once again.
And joining us this morning is Dr. Jeff Gardere, a board-certified clinical psychologist. Dr. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us on the air this morning, and an early happy holidays.
Thank you, and happy holidays.
Let's start this off. You know, some of us are just plain worn out, right, by all of the constant uncertainty. This is like a long-term illness. We don't know when it's going to end. How do we cope with all of that?
I think it's certainly something where we have to take it a day at a time. We have to be as prepared as ready, and of course feel that we're empowered versus a situation where it feels. Let's see. I'm not. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here.
Okay. You know, I know you're talking about all of this uncertainty.
Yep. And so with that uncertainty, instead of feeling that we don't have any control of that situation, of the virus, to some extent it's true, but we have control over our own lives. And that's why it's important that we take as many precautionary measures and think about the larger community.
A lot of the health officials, Dr. Jeff, they've stressed this week that we're not back in 2020, right? And we keep urging everybody to understand that because of the tools that are at our disposal now, vaccines, booster shots, testing, if you can get a test. But a lot of people are feeling triggered by what we all went through, obviously, during the early days of the pandemic, right? Nobody wants to go back to that. So what would you say to those folks who still feel that kind of fear of self-isolation?
Well, certainly we have been dealing with this for a long time, and there are lessons that we've learned. We shouldn't be self-isolating. Certainly we have mechanisms in order to talk to one another. We have video, but we also know that we have rapid tests so that if we need to get together during the holidays, that we can use those particular mechanisms as far as not spreading the virus as much as possible. We have our masks, and of course we have the vaccines, and people are looking at getting the boosters. So there are certain things that we can do. Use the knowledge from the past in order to be able to deal with the present.
But, you know, in the midst of all of this is the week of Christmas. Omicron has refueled a lot of the conversations about vaccinated and unvaccinated. And really, I see this as almost like parallels to having different feelings and ways that you believe in political things, too. You see people really entrenched and kind of going head to head. How do you navigate these really tough conversations that may not have any middle ground?
You have to preface the conversations by saying, this is my point of view. What is your point of view? Learning from one another, but you are the master of your own home. So if it's a situation of where you have people coming over for holiday dinners, it is your right to say, I require that you be vaccinated and or boosted, and as well to take some sort of a rapid test. That is your right to do that, and for that person to understand.
Well, by the way, vaccines should not be political at all, because they're not.
Shouldn't be.
They're not political. They're totally different topics. But let me ask you this, because there's this herd mentality that goes on in society, right? And so the herd mentality, we saw it play out with toilet paper and things like that, where people were rushing to buy things. And now there's this herd mentality of the uncertainty and going in to get tests and not sure of whether or not you should gather and so on and so forth. How do you kind of break that cycle of seeing everything on social media and seeing the herd kind of do one thing and then not be a lemming?
Well, certainly you shouldn't base all your information on social media. There are reliable sources that we can go to. This show, for example, is one of those reliable sources. And you are right. It is not about politics. It's about safety. So having those conversations on a daily basis and being able to understand where someone else is coming from and being as kind and professional to them as possible. But again, it is about the safety.
Yeah. Even if you don't have them at their table, have a nice conversation with them. We want to bring in Ben right now because I know he's got a question for you as well, Dr. Gardere.
Yeah, Dr. Jeff, we're doing Christmas at our house this year, and you already answered my question because you said, you know, it's our house, our rules. You have to take a test, and it's kind of hard to bridge that with some people because you don't want to insult them. It's weird. You're like we don't, almost like there's like a lack of trust, but you have to do it because you have to stay safe.
Yeah, and you're right, Ben. It is about being able to say to them, I don't mean to insult you in any way, but guess what? This isn't just about our safety. It's about your safety too. And you're not carrying a virus to another loved one in your family who may have some medical condition that can cause them to have a major issue with either Delta or Omicron. A lot of people are saying, and what it looks like, it's not as, doesn't make you as sick, but we know that it spreads much, much quicker. And we have to worry about the people, for example, who do have a medical condition where they can be compromised and have long-term effects.
I think if we learned anything during the pandemic, right, it's that we have to be uncomfortable. I mean, being comfortable, being uncomfortable in these conversations. And I'm at the point now where, hey, if we're going to break up over this, then so be it, because, you know, protecting my Grandma Rose is too important. Dr. Jeff, good to see you, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Great to see you all.